This video is going to be on the Reehut yoga block. It's a blue block, 9 inch by 6 inch by 4 inch. It's made in China. It comes in 2 pieces for a really reasonable price. It's like 10 or 11 bucks or something like that. Now it's made out of high density. It's made out of high density EVA foam. It's odor resistant, and let me show you. They're fairly secure. If you do yoga, then you know what these are for, and if you don't, then I'm going to give you just 2 examples so that you have some idea of why somebody would want this. Now, you can make these yourself. You can use a book. You can use a phone book. You can use an exercise ball if you need to, or even a basketball. Or you can get some wood and try to make a block yourself if you want to. But, you know, for the price, these are lightweight, they're easy to hold, they're easy to use, they're not going to damage your floor if you have wood floors. So I'm going to give you an example of what this is for. If you like my videos, please do a thumbs up, a subscribe, a like. If you want to donate to my channel, let me know. Comment, and I'll send you my PayPal info. Now, what would you use a foam block for? It's used for making it easier to get into certain positions in yoga, and it's also used for stability, so that you don't fall over, you don't hurt yourself. Now, a lot of us want to do some hamstring work or some bending over so that we can lean forward and hopefully touch our toes. And if you start doing that, you put a lot of strain on your lower back as you're leaning forward while you are learning how to do the toe touching or the bending over. There's a massive amount of strain put on the lower back and your spine. And if you are leaning like this, if you're elderly or you don't have good balance, you could hurt yourself, and you need something to help you, and that's the advantage of the yoga block. I'm going to step back a little bit, and the yoga block allows me to hold it with my hands or to hold it with my fist. And right now I'm leaning over, and my legs are perfectly straight. But without the block, ow, I can feel there's a massive pull on the back of my knee, and it hurts because I'm not limber enough yet. But if I do this, I can support my body. I don't have the pull in my lower back, in the back of my knees and my hamstrings, but I am giving myself a really good stretch, and it allows me to build up, to become better at stretching and more limber, and it gives me support and takes the strain off of my body. And then when you get better, you can go down like this, and then you might be able to do this when you build up more flexibility in your body, and then you can go down like this. So that's one advantage of the foam block. See if I can find another advantage of the foam block. When you were, what would be a good thing? When you're doing stretching, if you have your legs crossed, there are many of them. You can go on the internet and find out different ways to use a foam block. But say that you're doing stretching, you want to be able to put both of these knees down, but I got a bunch of stuff in my pocket, so this is going to be a little difficult. Let me remove it, sorry. So if you're doing something like this, ow. I've been working on this a lot, trying to be able to put the feet together, and you want to press down on your knees so that you can build some flexibility in your groin. And when you're doing that, you can't always get yourself in a good position. So an advantage of a foam block is you could take it and put it under one leg for support, so you can work on this. So you can strictly, I've got this hand at the back behind me, and I can press down, and I can build a good stretch. Now, I wouldn't need that foam block, but it's good for support It's usable for support. You can also use it when you're doing some hamstring stretching. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. I've got the block under it. Ow! If you, let me lower this. Now when you're doing stretching, I've got my leg completely extended, and ow! If you're doing stretching, I've got that pull at the back of my knee again, in the hamstring, in the groin area, because the groin is tight, and the hip flexors are tight. So an advantage of having the block is you can put it underneath the foot, raise it up, makes it easier to do the stretch. Makes it incredible. I still feel it in the hamstrings, but it makes it easier to do the stretch, which is important because it allows you to learn to bend at your hip and not just bending in the middle of the back, or curving your back, which you don't want to do. So you've got the option of that, or if you were just starting out and you're not as flexible, you can raise it up more. It makes it a lot easier. You see that? I can go in here and grab. Makes it a lot easier. So it's called a prop. It's a yoga prop. Very inexpensive. Has a lot of advantages for different positions, yoga poses, or just for stretching for anybody that's trying to become more limber. There are things where you can put it behind your back to raise up the small of your back so that you can get a better stretch. So my review of this is, yeah, for the price, very good. You can buy these in the store. You can buy them online. Wherever you buy them, this is definitely a good product. It does not have an odor. It's made in China. A lot of people are worried about buying rubber or plastic items on the internet, and they have a very funky smell to get until all the chemicals are released in the air. But this doesn't have a funky smell. It's solid. It should last you a long time. Very easy to wipe off the sweat if you get sweaty. It's not going to mar the floor. It's an awesome thing to buy. Even if you don't do yoga, it's definitely something you should have in your home gym or exercise room to work out.